We're here at Griot's Motors this morning, starting an incredibly different, weird, but hopefully very fun road trip we haven't done before. This was the challenge car for how far can you go.
So Richard hasn't even driven the car yet. It's prepped, it's ready, but look around this place. Every car enthusiast's dream, but this has produced this perfect rabbit.
In the great history of project cars, it just got finished. He's never even driven it.
I can't wait to drive it. I can't wait to see the outcome of this. It's gonna be a really interesting day. Everybody's excited.
So we have brought cars from miles per gallon distance challenge. It's also become a shakedown run. It's a totally different road trip. We're calling it the ice cream run.
Here we go. Easy, easy. Listen to that. I can't see exhaust at all. This is too good. Oh my gosh. We have just left Griot's Motors, about to get on the freeway, I-5 South, and I'm in the Hyundai. 557 miles is the range that it's currently showing, and I bet that's gonna go up once we get on the freeway here. We have sealed the gas tanks. You'll notice the blue tape over the gas doors and on the Lucid, the charging door. So nobody can refuel for the entire trip. And this all started 2+ years ago. It was when we had a conversation with Richard Griot, and he was thinking about building a high mileage Golf. He chose a 1977 Rabbit that is perfect.
And in the midst of creating this crazy resto mod, one of the side notes was an expectation that he thinks it might get somewhere like 70 miles to the gallon and will have an incredible amount of range on a single tank. And he just challenged us. He said, what could you guys bring that might challenge my Rabbit in distance? And then we came up with this road trip because we thought, all right, if that Rabbit's a diesel, let's bring other forms of propulsion.
What can you think of that has higher mileage range than these two? The Lucid Air GT for EV and the Hyundai Sonata Hybrid. The Hybrid is indicating 555 miles of range with a full tank.
Right now, I'm showing 6 miles of distance since this thing was charged to 100%, and I'm showing 505 miles of range. So theoretically, I will get home because we should have somewhere in the range of 450 miles to get all the way back to Griot's this evening.
And we have decided that none of us can do the hypermile thing.
We're not trying to hoon them, but we're not actually trying to get great mileage. We're just gonna do this road trip and see how these cars do. I am learning this Lucid as I go. I've never driven a Lucid before, driven plenty of other electrics, but this is a brand new experience in this car. Richard jumped into his Rabbit having never driven it before. I think I chose well though, because I'm the only one with massage seats. This is a $130,000 car, so it's $100,000 more than that Hyundai. It's worlds more than the Golf was new, but the Golf has been resto modded to perfection, so it's probably the most expensive car here. That's what's really crazy, but the point here is the distance. How's the Rabbit treating you, Richard? How you doing this morning?
You know, I absolutely love this car. It's a little loud in here because we didn't put a lot of sound deadening, but I mean, this car is just, the visibility out of it, it's just fantastic. Great driving position. I love it. I don't have a clock. I don't have an oil gauge. I don't have a tach. I'm not even sure the radio works. In fact, I only have an AM radio from RCA in the dash, which I think was probably an option that the dealership put in 1977. I think it needs a taller gear though. Would be nice.
This is why we brought Richard, because he's just a kid in a candy store. The idea of actually just going on a road trip for him for a work day sounded to him like the best thing ever. So that's why we brought him along. Plus, he has to drive the Golf. Now, we are going to swap cars in the middle of this so that we each have the ability to try what these cars will do. The challenge here is to go all the way from Tacoma, Griot's Garage HQ, from Griot's Motors all the way to the Tillamook Creamery for lunch, and all the way back. What will this really do? 450 miles at least for the round trip today. That is farther than most cars will go on a full tank of whatever it is they burn. We brought it all. We brought gas, we brought diesel, we brought volts. We are ready for any eventuality.
So we have agreed, baseline, that all three of us get one good pull in all of the cars, which means 3 pulls per car to see what she'll do. The horsepower on this is low, 192 horsepower out of 150 horsepower, 2-liter engine. The electrics make up the rest of that power figure, but this is all about range. This is the ultimate commuter.
Man, this thing's got some acceleration. Steering is, I'm not even sure if I need to steer this thing. So smooth. I'm tracking like a freight train right now. The genius of this car is literally the way it makes you feel. I just feel great. There's all this glass around me, having that low cut belt line, and this car is just like, it makes you feel awesome. The seats are amazing.
I have massage seats. Richard doesn't even have air conditioning. So this is the ends of the spectrum of this drive.
Looks like the Lucid is trying to make me do 80, 70 something miles an hour. It says 70 right now. It's trying to get me to burn fuel. I know what's going on with you guys.
Okay, my range is calculated at 552 miles. The car is calculating.
I got a gas gauge that hasn't even moved.
Oh, that's the other thing. The Lucid claims a 0.197 coefficient of drag. The Hyundai has a 0.24 coefficient of drag. The Rabbit is brick. It's a brick. I am rather enjoying the dichotomy of styling between these cars. We've got two like modern bullets compared to the Giugiaro brick that's so classic.
I take offense to brick, actually.
Fishbowl? You could wear a 10-gallon hat in this thing and still have room above your head. I'm just gonna tuck up right behind you here for some drafting.
You'll let out a huge fart. You'll pay for that one. Actually, this car's never been farted in yet. Totally drafting the Lucid right now. Getting 90 miles to the gallon, easy. I absolutely love this thing. It just oozes charm.
Nearly 40 miles in, it was time for our first car swap.
I mean, you know, I had the massage seat going. I guess it's okay. You know.
I had the massage seat going.
It's constant. Yeah, it never stops. Yeah, for sure.
But we've never had such very different cars to trade.
So part of the fun here is the car swap. And I jumped into this. This is a brand new 2024 updated Hyundai Sonata hybrid. Like all of Hyundai's products right now, they're really thinking a lot about design and how much technology they can give you for the money. It's way down on power than probably both of these cars, actually. This weighs about 3,600 pounds, only has 192 horsepower, and 40 of that horsepower is from the electric motor. This is a very underpowered, understressed engine, but it has a hybrid system that makes it feel very normal. The ride is excellent. I just got out of the Lucid, which is their upper level car. That is as expensive as Lucids get. This is $100,000 cheaper than the Lucid. The seats are a little flat for my taste, but to each his own there. Hey, look, there's Paul in the Gulf. He's from another era. He's like really concentrating over there because there's a lot going on.
Visibility in this car is astounding. This is crazy. What was basic transportation 40 years ago is now the coolest, most charming, interesting, fun enthusiast car you can buy. Except you can't buy this because it's a custom build. This is a 1977 Rabbit with a 2003 diesel engine from an 03 donor car, TDI. This is a 1.9 ALH turbo diesel. 250 foot-pounds of torque. Shifts easily, so this is the O2J transmission out of the Mark IV TDI with the tall fifth gear. Oh, it's that old Volkswagen thing where you just need one more gear. One more gear. No tack, so I can't even flip the throttle. I don't even know. You just got to know what you're doing here. But you know, it relates to the other cars. Like modern hybrids, most of them don't have a tach either. So there you go. What a dichotomy between the most old school thing and the most new school thing, the Lucid Air GT. It's the newest GT.
So the first thing I notice about this Lucid is the quietness. I just got out of the Volkswagen Rabbit, and it's just like all of this mechanical noise, and here I think the only thing I'm picking up is just the tire noise. The throttle pedal is really, really sensitive on this. It doesn't really cruise that much. I mean, you need your foot on the gas, seems like the whole time. The minute you just shave it just a bit, it slows down the car. Guys in the van probably think I'm just like the most unsmooth driver ever, and I'm in smooth mode. Following the 1977 Rabbit right now, I mean, it's amazing how narrow the car is and how tall the car is. And just a whole shipload of glass everywhere in that car. And I'm such a huge fan of light coming into the cabin. I feel like I'm kind of closed in this box, and oh my gosh. But then this has a glass roof and the sun is just coming down, and that's amazing. Just the gauges are nice. All of the stitching and the glass is what I just absolutely love. But I really do not like the herky-jerkiness of it. I realize what they're trying to do here. Seating position is fine. Let's try the massage seats. Rolling, yep, there we go, plus, plus, plus. Ooh, hello. Anyway, yeah, okay, maybe not right there.
Ooh, Paul was driving this. He has it in eco mode. I see what you're doing. Okay, all right, gonna have to do some drive modes here. Sport is better. All right, here's my pull. That's full throttle, it downshifts. Okay, all right. It's not bad. A lot of noise, actually. A lot of noise when it revs up. It's a loud engine and hybrid combination. There's a lot of whirring, there's a lot of grumbling. It's got enough power for normal use. There's nothing about this that's going to impress you for power, but I also submit on the other side, it's not going to disappoint you either.
Oh, this thing pulls. Whoa. Yeah, that was my pull. That's impressive. Okay, I got out of your way. Here we go. Nice pull from the Lucid. Holy crap.
Okay, this car is ridiculous. Like, you know, coming out of a cannon. Okay, that's hugely impressive.
And because of what we're doing, I will go back into eco mode because, let's be honest, all we're really doing is sawing miles toward Tillamook right now. The big thing that strikes me when I drive this Sonata is that it's easy to drive. It's very simple to drive this. It's satisfying. I could imagine having a lot of years and a lot of mileage in this car, and it just does what you expect. And because it doesn't have any attempt at regen one pedal braking, I can do normal coasting, which is how I'm used to driving. If you're used to driving an EV, you understand that when you lift your foot off the accelerator, the car naturally starts to reduce. So you got to kind of constantly be on the accelerator a little bit. Of course, you can use cruise control. But this has the normal coast feature, which I do enjoy and I am used to from my entire life of driving.
Griot's Motors did an exceptional job on this. If you look under the hood, it is spotless. I mean, it came out of a spotless shop, but you notice the fabric is just period, and it even smells like a Volkswagen. I don't even know how they did the Volkswagen smell. I guess old rubber? No, it's new. Everything's new. Okay, as you can see from the steering wheel, there's not a lot of steering feel. It's rather vague. That's okay, because what it lacks in steering feel, it certainly makes up in charm and cool factor. This is just cool. So the guys at Griot's Motors have indicated they think this car weighs about 1,600 pounds, just over a third of the weight of the Lucid, and about half the weight of the Sonata. You can feel it though when you're driving. It's just so good. It's so lightweight. This is the point. diesel engine with a good amount of power and lightweight. Granted, it doesn't have airbags, it doesn't have many things. I mean, it has roll-up windows. Technology has increased weight. So now the goal for modern car manufacturers is to make something technologically advanced and just as safe as every other modern car and not increase the weight. When we've discussed Giugiaro design before, I've told you about how Giorgetto Giugiaro is the designer for Vredestein tires. But Giorgetto Giugiaro also designed a list of cars longer than your arm, including the Mark I Rabbit.
Currently showing 538 available miles till the tank runs out of gas. I don't know that we'll really do that much, but that's what the car thinks right now. This might be the car that really surprises us the most. I have no idea what the long term of it's going to be, but we'll see. That's a really impressive amount of range to brag. The problem with the Golf on a mileage test is we have no idea how far that Rabbit will actually go because we don't have a countdown. We just have the analog gauge, and we're expecting it to get 70 plus miles to the gallon, which, if our math is right, might be 900 miles. So there won't be a countdown on that car, but it also isn't the one you can buy.
Did I detect I think I detected motion in the gas gauge. I think the needle has moved. Between you and me, I feel like the Rabbit is going to win.
So what's impressive is that 459 miles is what it says. That just seems like a lot. I mean, finally a car that can actually, you can take on a vacation somewhere.
How weird is it that cars nowadays are so good? They work so well, doesn't matter what it is, that you have to go backwards to find charm. And this is what we talk about a lot on the podcast, bringing an analog feel back to cars that is charming. It's so funny to find all the quirks and things that weren't sorted and didn't work that great back in the day are now very charming, and that's what we look for out of our driving experience, and this is very much that. Modern cars are boring. They're so good, they're boring. The vibrations of this car, the noises it makes, you almost can't replicate that.
Can boring be a compliment? Because I actually don't mean it to be a downside. This Hyundai Sonata Hybrid, it is kind of boring in a don't worry about me kind of way. There's nothing strange or different or surprising about it like you have in the Lucid. There's nothing old school and requires tolerance like you have in the Golf. It's just normal modern car that works well. And in that regard, it's kind of boring. But that might be exactly what you want for your daily car, for your commute car. And with range like this, come on now. Everything you want is here. $38,000, loaded.
There's some quirks here that were man versus machine. I'm not liking how I can't modulate the throttle pedal. I want more interaction with my car. I don't want to just get into something and have some guy behind a computer telling me what to do and how I'm going to be driving and enjoying the car. But I think overall, for a car that's going to get 500 miles on the highway, that's totally doable. Yeah, I'm really digging that.
The first ding on that.
Well, oh man, at least it's on that pin.
Any weird stuff about this?
Yes.
The shifter's a little odd.
The shifter is weird.
Okay.
Okay, I've gone from electric to hybrid to diesel. I'm going the wrong direction through the technologies if I want a smooth, quiet ride. Paul let me know that the clutch engage is right off the floor. He undersold it. It's I'm not even sure that was pedal movement before there is some clutch. There's no tack. having a tack would be helpful. Old school goodness here though. There's just nothing to this car, and I mean that as a compliment. This is so light. I love light. This is an absolute feather of a car. This is the thing that car manufacturers, I don't know that they've forgotten, but they have ignored, that what makes a car engaging is when a car is light. There's no question that this car is going to be the most tiring to do this trip. It's the loudest, there's constant vibration. I'm half yelling at you. I can feel everything through the steering wheel. Then on the other side of the equation, I can feel everything through the steering wheel. It's wonderful.
The 2025 Lucid Air GT. In today's EV market, this is the one with the highest range. This one makes 819 horsepower and 885 pound-feet of torque. If you want even more, good news, they make the Sapphire trim level, which adds an electric motor, and now you're suddenly over 1,000 horsepower in an EV. This has a 118 kilowatt battery pack, so it's the biggest battery you can buy, and it's also maximum luxury, which makes it a $130,000 EV. This car instantly feels the price. I am in the smooth drive modes of the three, smooth, swift, and sprint modes, which means right now, softest suspension, standard regen braking, and it's a twitch on the throttle. I can see why you're going to want to use cruise everywhere in this car, but you've got to keep your foot very firmly on the pedal, and small motions do a lot for your speed. 5,200 pounds. I feel every bit of the weight. It's going to take decades before we reach lightweight EVs that have the range of this thing. But of course, it's overcome by massive amounts of power. It's so solid on the road and heavy, and it's great for the distance thing. It's great for the commute thing.
Okay, so I'm in the hybrid now. Seems like more of a normal car than the Lucid. Drive mode, sport. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh man, I gotta say, I just punched it in this thing, and the top gear is disappointment.
Were you in sport mode though?
I've got red dials on the dash. It didn't launch like the Lucid for sure.
It's not like the Lucid.
I honestly think my Rabbit is faster than this thing, right?
I think it probably is.
Plus, it's so visceral that it feels like it either way. When cars are this small and light, the roads are actually different. And what I mean by that is, because you don't fill the lane, you can pick your section of the lane like it's your own little part of the road. So this is a very active, involved situation, and it's not for everybody, and it's not for all the time. Cars as big as the Lucid, you just sit in the middle of the lane. In fact, because of lane keep assist, it tries to keep you in the middle of the lane.
To differentiate themselves in the marketplace, Lucid had to bring a different styling. It has to be very clean and meet its goals to look like an expensive car, yet still stand out and be unique in the marketplace. And I think they have absolutely nailed it. It's almost like a boat. You see a bond line between the body side and the greenhouse. And speaking of greenhouse, it's just glass panel. The interior is very comfortable. The seats are excellent. The driving position is what you're used to. The interior materials feel luxurious, high quality, incredible engineering. I mean, if I were shopping for an EV, truly, I wouldn't be looking at Teslas. They don't drive naturally. It has to drive like a car, but it also has to have a futuristic experience and a luxurious experience. And the discovery that this car offers is worth the money. It's so impressive on every level.
So the one thing I love about this car is that when you turn on the blinker, you can see down the side of the car to make sure nobody is next to you that you're going to turn into. That's probably the coolest feature of this car. This is like driving any other car though, you know, no crazy lust. That Lucid was amazing. This car is, it's just a car. So this hybrid is still showing 513 mile range. That's impressive.
The day's cleared up. It's turned into be gorgeous. We're headed for the coast. This is a fun drive day. Richard's going to have an amazing time in this. The question is, what's the range? Because the gauge has moved. Now it's firmly at 3/4. I actually am starting to wonder if this is more vulnerable than it first suggested. Only time will tell.
Hey, we just crossed into Oregon. Sweet. Look at this gorgeous bridge. That's cool. Hey, a cool feature of the Lucid. You can just look at the structure of the bridge. Look at the trestle bridge. That is handy. Currently reading 393 miles of range left. You know what? This is the first EV that I've ever driven where I haven't really been worrying about range. I haven't thought about it since we left.
Now, I will say, compared to the Lucid, it's a lot smoother. You don't even notice the engine cutting in and out. As a driving experience, I prefer this over the Lucid. The Lucid is just a rocket ship. I just don't want that, constant, oh yeah, let's go. I like this car. I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. I mean, gosh, for $38,000, it's a bargain.
There's no question at all. Papers down. This is the most fun car we brought. Sheer fun, without question. It's frustrating at a stoplight because there's so much vibration. Commuting in this would be very annoying, but a fun little drive. This whole drive today, brilliant. Air conditioning, tachometer. Brake pedal more balanced with the other pedals. I'm up to 3. I'm up to 3 things I want in this car. It just proves, though, that a lightweight car gives you all the driver information we crave. It gives all of it back, and efficiency is a byproduct. It's not even the thing you set out to get, and you've made efficiency by accident.
Car swapping over, we went back to our own cars with a newfound appreciation.
Back in the Lucid with a few updates, including the fact that neither of the other guys like this car very much. Well, that's not true. They like many things about it, but the accelerator pedal they both hate.
So I was just informed that my gas tank is not 13 gallons, it's 10 gallons. So if I'm getting 60 miles to the gallon, let's just say if I am, yeah, this is going to be a fight to the finish.
Good news, everyone. The gas gauge on the Hyundai has finally moved. We are down to 437 miles of range, and it's still well above 3/4.
I'm still showing 300 miles of range, and I've gone 180. I mean, that's pretty good.
I have not used sport mode very much at all because I'm trying to win. I've left it in eco mode, and the car's just cruising through the forest right now.
Really not doing anything special driving this car. I'm not trying to eke out every last mile out of this thing. It's just driving this the way you would normally drive. And I don't know who said we're all just satisfied, we're all really quiet in our home car. Those are great cars, but I just find them uninspiring.
We've all been commenting how bored we are driving it, and I've been studying the foliage quality on the leaves and pine needles through here because I'm so bored and I can concentrate on other things. But it is comfortable, smooth. The undulation in the road is not ideal and it's not great to drive through corners, but nevertheless, this is an incredible car.
And this road has turned into be spectacular. These really dense trees makes you want to visit Oregon. That's where we are. Almost to Tillamook. Close to lunch. I mean, you've gone out for ice cream, right? We just went farther than you. I mean, that's really all that happened.
So we're now climbing through some hills. No strain on the car, obviously. But I'm dipping into the throttle and I'm feeling my power go down for some odd reason. It says I'm a little over half a tank, which I find that hard to believe if I'm getting 60 miles to the gallon, 55.
Richard thinks he might have lost a pressure hose off of the turbo and has lost some of the high-end turbo punch of the Rabbit. He's the one that is sweating more than us, not just because he doesn't have air conditioning.
Now I'm a little nervous and a little cautious that I don't know how many gallons I have left, and where the other cars know exactly what's left in the tank. I have no idea.
For those of you who'd like to geek out, I am currently at 205 miles worth of distance on this trip. Used 50 kilowatt hours worth of energy, which means I am running 4.1 miles per kilowatt hour. You're welcome.
Seriously, I am nowhere close to 3/4 of a tank. I'm expecting the rabbit to win. Truly.
Here we are, 207 miles since we started, 282 showing left. I'll get home. I'll get back. Then it'll be a question of how we burn off the rest. That's tomorrow's problem. Right now, lunch. And whatever we order, I am certain it will involve dairy.
I have never seen more people excited to eat cheese and ice cream than I have here. It's sort of like an 8-year-old's birthday party. Pizza, soda, and ice cream, endless amounts of it. And I have to admit, it is pretty fantastic.
We should have stopped last time. We didn't stop, but we stopped this time. We didn't stop last time. This is
sleeping in strawberry alone.
Yes.
Hey.
This is where I spotted the signage, and it just struck me. The colors just kind of looked like IKEA, and I called it the IKEA of cheese. So this is the place.
Utterly chocolate brownie batter.
Is this a cow pun?
Yes, it's a cow
call it
pun.
that?
It is a cow pun. Absolutely. It was. Yes. Did you just say they call it that? Did you just say that?
Sure, I'll take credit for that.
Nothing like a 8-year-old's birthday party kind of food to perk you up.
So we just stopped at Tillamook. Before Tillamook, there was no boost pressure at all, and it was just a dog going up hills.
We discovered what we believe to be the problem, and that is a hose. One of the intake hoses for the turbo had kind of come loose.
I believe I reconnected that. I also disconnected the battery for about 15 minutes to maybe reset the ECU. So just a 13 millimeter wrench, disconnecting the battery, and the clamps that we have are little push pins. So very easy. Let's just give it a little run up. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're back in gear. I think what happened is the everyday driver guys were totally whomping on the car.
So you heard the rules when we started. We decided to allow each other one full throttle pull in each car. You heard us, that was the rule up front. Well, now that Richard has fixed his turbo, he's pretty sure he lost a lot of miles per gallon while the turbo wasn't working and wasn't hooked up properly. So he's decided to blame us for the full throttle moment, which, that seems like the spirit of competition, right? But hey, these were the rules.
So now we're along the Pacific Ocean. I'm following the Lucid, and I don't see that catching fire like ahead of me. So I guess everybody's fine.
See, the real world test is always different than the EPA estimated or any judgment call. It's always different. We've done interstate for a long time, and this is going to be slower speeds making our way back up the coast. I feel like Todd is about to do a brake stand, a full launch mode in the Lucid from the light.
So they're all being bad influences on me, and they're saying I really ought to do launch control out of this light. And since I haven't done that yet, I'm sure it's going to be terrible for the range, which is the reason they're encouraging me to do it. But at the same time, isn't that really kind of part of the reason that we're here, right?
Yep.
0 to arrestable speeds in, I don't know, what was that? You did the count. That was pretty quick. That's pretty quick. That was actually, you know what? The first half second was not as powerful as expected. And then after that, it was just a whole new layer. That was very interesting. So that burned 3 miles of range, just so you know. I'm showing 274 miles till I'm empty. And we're expecting it to be, I don't know, about 220 miles home. So I should make it. We all should make it, frankly. The Hyundai apparently might have a half tank of gas still. We'll see.
Checking in with you with my remaining range, which is 354 miles as of the Astoria Bridge.
I'm at a half a tank. We've done about 255 miles. It's true I've burned through 5 gallons of fuel. I'm over 50 miles to the gallon. Rough estimate. I will definitely get home tonight.
These 3 incredibly different cars, the amount of calculating that has gone on today, my brain actually hurts. I have a bit of a headache because of the amount of math we keep doing back and forth on the radio for, well, I show this many miles in and I think I've got this many left, and Richard trying to completely extrapolate out of thin air because he has no idea.
Is it too early to start making predictions? Because I think the Lucid is going to drop off first. As impressive a range as that is, because I think Todd's down to just over 200 miles. I mean, I think he'll make it back to Tacoma, no problem, but he'll be the least of the 3.
In front of me, I don't know how well you can see it, is a Lincoln Continental convertible in baby blue with steer horns on the hood. He's driving one-handed, caps on backwards, bull horns on the hood. That's his life choices. There he goes. The massage seat turned off again. That's unacceptable. There we go. Car's still running. That should be running. Anyway, Washington always surprises me. I forget how really cool Washington is. I love these waterways, thick, dense forests that actually lead to, they're not mountains, but they're like rugged ridge lines. It's just got a lot of topography that's really compelling. And there's always something wonderful about this late daylight on a road trip. Uh-oh. Look at Richard. He's got his turbos back and he just figures miles per gallon doesn't matter anymore. Look at that. I'm impressed.
A Rabbit passing a Lucid. These 2 cars side by side are the epitome of old and new technology. The Rabbit is tiny. It's taller, but it's tiny in comparison, and the Lucid is this hulking beast. It's really weird to see them together. It's cool, but weird. And both of them have charm and character on opposite ends of the scale. Right now, I'm starting to feel like the middle child. In a family of 3, I don't have the cool factor and as much character as the Rabbit, and I'm not as technologically advanced as the Lucid, but this one's starting to win. And I didn't see that coming. I thought it would be kind of close. But I think the other 2 guys are starting to sweat. A little bit. Maybe a little bit.
I figured something out. The Lucid needs an old school button. You hit a button and it has creep like a normal automatic transmission. It has coast, and it would turn off all driver assistance features because the ones in the Lucid are more annoying than they are helpful. I mean, that's the benefit of software, is to be able to customize anything.
I think at this point we can call it and say all 3 of these cars are going to make it without refueling. So that's a problem. 2 of these cars must die. We have to have a winner. Todd is, I think, less than 140 miles range. I'm at 277, and there's more diesel in the Golf than I think. We're gonna have to keep going.
You know, I'm taking this seriously now because I'm not running the massage seat anymore. I brought the temperature up, I've turned the fan down, I'm just focused. I've now got a new little battery icon on the gauge cluster here saying, excuse me, but please take note.
I just love everything about this car. I love the analogness of it. Wasn't really too excited about either one of the electric or hybrid cars. They're great tools, but you know, I'm still smiling after I got the hell beat out of me today with the windows rolled down, sun pounding on the side of my face. You know, it's just a fantastic day, fantastic car.
Ooh, we are back in Tacoma. All 3 cars have made it as predicted, and I think the Lucid is hurting the most. Rabbit is still running just fine, and I am sad to announce, everyone, that the Hyundai is down to only 199 miles of range left.
Griot's Motors, we're back. I'm showing 27 miles. I am limping into the garage here, but I made it. We are back. That is wonderful.
Okay, 420.5, 197 miles remaining.
I'm showing a little under a quarter of a tank.
Everybody made it, even the van. All right, leaving Griot's Motors for day 2, leaving with some real trepidation, I'll be honest with you, because last night it said 27 miles. It now says 14. The charger I'm trying to reach, the closest fast charger, is 21 miles away. If you do math, that doesn't add up well.
It is the morning of day 2, and we have determined that the Lucid is not going to make it.
We figured we'd do laps at the ridge until all of these cars fall off, which should be in the next 100 miles. But the ridge is 50 miles away, so I'm not even going to make it there.
So we are going to wave goodbye to Todd at the charger, and then we have decided that we need a place to burn off gas or diesel. So we're going to keep trucking, and we're going to go to one of our favorite tracks, the Ridge Motorsports Park in Shelton, Washington, because we need a winner.
I'm running a little under a quarter of a tank, so I'll probably get to the racetrack maybe on reserve. I know it's 50 miles out there. It's gonna be a tough day to win.
Richard has had that car conspiring against him because the hose came off the turbo, and also it's only got a 10-gallon tank. We thought it had a bigger tank. So the doors are not full of diesel.
The problem with an electric, when you run it out, is that there's no roadside assistance that can come give you a quick charge. So you've got to be flatbedded to a charging station. So I need to limp this morning.
This thing is gonna have fuel to spare.
Charge now, power reduced due to low battery. Okay, that's a new screen.
Right now, I think Todd is dealing with all sorts of warning lights. The clenching has started, and I think he's far more comfortable with a very low fuel tank or very low range left, probably more than I am.
I don't feel sick, but I have a pit in my stomach. I'm really uncomfortable at the moment. I mean, I know the whole gag here was to run these out, but I know the consequences of an electric dying. So I'm left doing the total Apollo 13 thing and just trying to hypermile this behemoth, barely going 60.
Yeah, she looks good. She looks good. Richard's very happy. That's good.
To me, one of the most stunning designs, because it's so simple, and when you think the pressure to design this car back in 1974, it had to replace the Beetle. So how do you replace the Beetle? You did it with the Golf Mark I, and just the chiseled looks, the two box, the front hood just drops. Look, I can see every pebble like only a foot away from the front bumper. I can see out of the windows, and just awesome, just an awesome greenhouse. The driving position, how simplistic the dash is. All my information is right here. And the whole premise of this build was starting off with a car that weighed 1,600 pounds when it was introduced. The turbo diesel is probably 100 pounds more than the gas engine that was in it before, but let's just say it's like 1,700 pounds versus 3,500 pounds, and it's getting 50 miles to the gallon. I mean, that's insane. It really is.
I'm not even to a quarter tank yet. This car is clearly going to win. My prediction. But what an incredible Golf.
I was really hoping for 70 miles to the gallon. We won't know until we finally fill up the gas tank, so.
I don't know what this does at 0. I've been told it's not gonna like put the brakes on and come to a stop, but I don't want to see 0. I don't. I'm going to for sure, but I don't want to. Battery critically low. Vehicle may shut down unexpectedly, charge immediately. That did not get better.
It's amazing what Lucid has done. It's amazing that an EV has crested 400, let alone 450. The problem is, it's a Lucid. It's expensive. It's heavy. It's not for everyone.
The worst possible thing right now would actually be a traffic jam. That is the only way we could increase my stress further. I wonder how much Lucid actually chose to keep in reserve below zero. I wonder what percentage of battery life is actually remaining. You know it was coded. You know they picked an amount that the car would show zero but still technically have charge. And then they put all of the scary warnings so they have deniability. You know that was the decision.
Yesterday, I didn't talk about the seat quality. The seats in the Lucid are excellent. They've got the massage feature, and they're really supportive. And then Richard's got classic Recaros in the Rabbit. They're soft, but they're still supportive. And then there's the Hyundai, and this one is just average. So if we're going to build cars that can do this kind of range, I feel like the seat quality needs to improve. The best seats should be in the commuter cars, the long distance cars. I know that's never going to happen because those are usually the cheaper cars, but this is 38 grand.
We've done a lot of things with this show, and this is up there as one of the scarier things I've done in the course of this show. This is genuinely up there. Zero. That's zero. Vehicle may shut down unexpectedly is a sentence you do not want to see. When you're eyeing the shoulder and seeing if it's wide enough for your car, that's a bad day. If I make it to this charger, it's going to feel like I want to race anyway, just because I didn't fail before I get more charge. Anyway, 4 miles. Still very much zero over here. I'm just now reaching 450 miles on the total trip distance. 2 miles left to the charger. 2 miles. Come on, come on, come on. We can do this. I believe in you, car. I believe in you. I'm going to feel so excited when I park at the charger. I'm going to feel like I won Le Mans. I'm probably going to feel quite a bit better physically too, because I feel pretty sick right now, to be honest.
Your destination is on the left.
I'm parked. At least I'm parked. So that's a victory in and of itself. Now I have to hope the charger works. You know, EV things. That was truly one of the scariest things I've ever done for this show. I've been running on 0 miles for 6 miles.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, you're getting the warning screens.
Oh, all the warning screens. They
critically low.
changed shades of red. All right.
Well,
okay.
the first one to die, that means Todd gets to ceremoniously take the tape off.
Now you know you lost.
Ooh.
Okay.
Another
Big
5
can of volts. That doesn't work. That doesn't work.
Drink, little car.
This electric car just did 452 miles
There we
on
go.
a single charge. Most gas cars can't do that much on a normal tank of gas.
That's really impressive.
Yeah, there's an accomplishment here in spite of the fact that I fully lost. I 100% lost. So that is very impressive. We're charging right now at 263 kilowatts. 20 miles per minute. Genuinely, that is good. At this point, I could have gone into Walmart where this charger is, shopped, come back out, and have a couple hundred miles probably. I'm going to sit here for about a half hour. I'm going to prep for the podcast, in fact, is what I'm going to do.
So we're going to keep going onto the track. We've still got a contest between us. Rabbit versus Sonata.
I'm showing a little, just a bit over the reserve. It hasn't dipped into the red yet. I guess I'm having my own stress battle. Normally I would not do this to myself.
Now, we're not going to run it completely dry because diesels are hard to get started when you completely drain the tank and fuel lines, but it's going to be about his comfort level, about when to call it. I'm really fascinated by this real-world test because, again, this is something we don't do. Everyone just looks at the Monroney and believes the EPA tests. 450 miles out of the Lucid? Finally an EV that does long range?
The stress is over. That's nice. Stress is, you know what? I'm gonna work the massage seat while I charge. That feels indulgent. Yes, okay. See this, all right. I have found what to do when you're charging your electric vehicle is to pull out your computer, do a little bit of work, and turn on the massage seat, which I haven't been able to run all morning because I've been terrified.
Richard thinks he has 100 miles left in the Rabbit, which he might actually. But the car now says, the Hyundai says 147 miles remaining, so we are here to burn off gas at the Ridge Motorsports Park. Like I said, one of our favorite tracks. We've done 3 Lemons races out here, and we did the F1, Road to F1 film with Griot's Garage, Griot's Motors. We love this track. But today, we're not really going fast. We're just burning off gas, just to prove the winningness of the Sonata. That's right, amazing. Track is ours. We're not racing, tracking, doing anything. We're just burning off fuel. That's it. Sport! Look at this. I have been on this track in many different scenarios. This is weird. Suddenly, Sonata on track. Now look, this is just burn off laps. Just practice the race line. See, that's cool, right? Thank you, Ridge Motorsports Park. We are very excited to be here. It's cool just to be driving normal speeds. Normality is happening.
That was genuinely impressive. 20 minutes or so, and I'm already to 293 miles potentially. If all charging experiences were that easy and that fast, I really could see this working. I could see us all embracing electrics. That's not where we're at so far. That's a 350 kilowatt charger. I was charging at about 300 kilowatts for most of it. That was a genuinely quick and pleasing experience. I could have left 10 minutes ago with plenty for the rest of our day. So what's happened now is the car is alive again. I've turned the AC, the temp way down. I go back to my massage. Turn that on. What was interesting about that process is it was literally plug and play. Just grab the charger plug, plug it in, and the car is now charging. It doesn't always work that way, but isn't that the way it should work? Now, I don't know what that super heavy charge would have cost me because that level of recharge is expensive. Of course, it's free for the first year.
This is a super normal day. Lovely to experience. Yeah, you know what? The seats are the giveaway. I am about to slam into the door. I think Richard's having a blast already because he's getting a newly built Rabbit on track already.
Okay, well that's one lap right there. That's 60 miles an hour, which they say is the limit, with their windows rolled down without a helmet on. See how far we can go here. Not even going to try to hit the brakes anymore. It's all about momentum for this car now. Got to save as much fuel as we can. So there we go. This car handles fairly well with absolutely zero fuel in the back. It's understeering a little bit, but you know, if you scrub off speed, tucks its tail right around. Pretty awesome. Love it. Want it. I'm gonna keep it.
This is way more fun than I thought it was gonna be. This is just cool. Even at low speeds, it's just fun. We should run a track day events company. And this is one of the main tracks for the Pacific Northwest region where we run Hooked on Driving events. So if you want to run this track in your own car at speed, you can come to a Hooked on Driving day. Look at hookedondriving.com and you will find the calendar, and you can come to the Ridge Motorsports Park and you can run track laps.
Uh-oh. What's going on there? Had a little buck. Had a very small hiccup. I think the gas gauge is so low and I'm really taxing the fuel pumping.
This thing's finally using gas. I'm down to 127 miles. Can you believe it? I mean, I didn't realize I was Team Hyundai, but if it's the winning team, I am happy to jump right on board. Yeah.
So this time around, not even applying the fuel here. Just letting it coast down. Otherwise, we'll pick up a pretty nasty pickup. I got a huge buckaroo when I got on the straight. I don't think it likes the corkscrew too much.
You think it's a gas tank already?
The gas tank in this thing isn't baffled, so learning a couple lessons here about it, how to make modifications.
And then on Richard's next lap.
Well,
I'm sure these are the slowest laps ever performed on this track. Oh, I'm getting tire squeal out of these tires.
I can't believe I'm actually doing this. I can't even go home to my wife, tell her what I spent on the car, and I'm a loser.
Downshift, and corkscrew. Squeal. Oh. Squeal. See, now we're getting after it. I'll downshift so I'll burn more gas.
all right, well, I had to put in 0.946 of a gallon to get rid of the barbel I'm getting. I probably had another couple gallons, but
This is my victory lap. I can't believe this thing. I have 89 miles of range left.
That is not the ending we expected. In fact, I'm not even sure what to conclude there. I don't want to say buy a hybrid, but
Maybe I'll go back to Tillamook.
how is he still going? How many miles does he have left? You're out. I want to thank Griot's Garage, Griot's Motors, Richard Griot, Nick, Philip, Forrest, and all the guys there because they were amazing to support this crazy idea. Richard for having the crazy idea, you guys for watching, and I don't know when we'll see Paul again, but we will be back. Thank you guys.
I so desperately wanted to be able to say, if you want the highest mileage range car possible, buy a diesel Rabbit. But I couldn't because the Hyundai won.
I still had 88 miles left.
No way! Yeah. That's my thoughts for the day. Had an awesome day. Love these guys at Everyday Driver, Todd and Paul and Chance and Jordan. Great folks to be around, just like every other car guy. So I want to do this again. I really do.